And once again, I want to say greetings to each and every one of you, Aquaba, and welcome. Welcome to another round of the Conscious Rasta Report here on LIV Radio, LIV TV, here on livinginblack.com. My name is Kidi Awadu, aka the Conscious Rasta. Weekday mornings, you and I get together live. We come at you from 9 a.m. Pacific time. That's 12 noon Eastern time, 5 p.m. GMT, and 8 p.m. East African time. We get together with you, and we deal with culture, consciousness, historical perspectives. We deal with entertainment, economics, education, health, labor, law, politics, religion, family, conflict, future studies, all areas of human interactivity and development. Today's date is Monday. It is the 12th day of January, the year 2026 in the Kemetic calendar, in the Gregorian calendar, I should say. It is the year 6266 in the Kemetic calendar, to which we've realigned our cultural clock. Welcome to the 7th millennium. You have found your family. You have found your family in a peaceful place here on LIV Radio, LIV TV. Let's get right into the topic for today's discussion. I hope you find this to be compelling. I have for many number of years talked a lot about processes that lead to longevity, to healthy life expectancy, healthy lifespan. I really want to emphasize that healthy part because some people, I hear from them, they are convinced that living a long time means an extended period of time being essentially crippled. And here on LIV Radio, we do not subscribe to longevity equals wasting age. In fact, I'm doing my best to prove that longevity is accompanied by vitality, youthfulness, and all of the other things. I'm not so much obsessed with trying to outlive everyone, but what I am obsessed with is healthy vitality. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Let me just first of all introduce today's program. Today's program, Proteolysis. Proteolysis, the body's life extension lab. Welcome to the Conscious Rasta Report's Life Extension Lab, where we decode the science of living longer and stronger. I'm your host, Kidi Wadu, exploring the cutting-edge research on proteolysis, how your body breaks down proteins, caloric restrictions, powerful effects on aging, and evidence-based longevity strategies. Every day, every Monday and Tuesday, we translate complex biochemistry into actionable insights for extending your lifespan, your health span, I should say. Let's unlock the secrets to a longer, more vibrant life together. That's what we are into today. Proteolysis, the body's life extension laboratory. I'm excited. I hope you are also excited about today's topic. I do see in the house today, I have my beloved sister for Africa One. I see you, beloved, in the house, Sawubona. And I am very proud of you, and I'm proud of myself as well, because of all of our family, you seem to have probably the greatest discipline toward this idea of healthy lifespan. And that's a good thing. We encourage such activity. It does take a lot of discipline to do what you and I do. And as fate would have it, We're born in different nations. It's too bad we're at least not in the same nation, let alone if we could be in the same state or city together. But I feel you, beloved, no doubt. So thank you, thank you, thank you for being tuned in, for hitting the like button for everyone who is tuned in. And I do have other listeners as well, so you can announce yourself if you would like. I always appreciate, love you, letting me know who you are. The sound of your name coming from my lips should sound wonderful to you. The sound of my name coming from your lips is undeniably a joy to express. So let's get into the topic. Now, I've pulled together a little piece of video. I just put this video together and I watched it just a few minutes ago. It's only about 2 minutes long or so. It's video short. I did it using my AI programs. This specific one comes from Notebook LM, which I'll be honest with you, I have really gotten to really like Notebook LM. It is from Google, and I do not like Google. I don't like Google, but I love their designs. I mean, Google is America's frontier designer. Now, why do I not like Google? Because they're an evil empire. They are an evil empire. I don't like Bill Gates, but I use his Microsoft Word. I don't like Mark Zuckerberg, but I use his social media networks. So contradictions, yeah, there are all kind of contradictions. I will admit to contradictions. So I'm going to go right now. I'm going to take you with me. I have Google LM up. I'm going to put it up on the stage. And I have to find out what window this is on. Bear with me. Got a lot of windows open today. This one is open over here. That's not it. It's over here. This is it. I have the longevity secret. I put together this short piece of video just a few minutes ago. I'm going to play it for you, and I hope you find this to be informative and enlightening. Tell me what you think. I'm going to have to mute my microphone. I'm going to remember to unmute it when I finish. I'm going to unmute my microphone right now and play the video.
So what's the real secret to a longer life? Turns out it's all about your cells cleaning house.
You've probably heard this one before, right? Eat less, live longer. But why?
So what's really going on in there? It's not just about calories, you know. Turns out there's this hidden battle for quality control happening inside every single cell. This system is called proteostasis. Think of it like your cell's personal quality control department. The thing is, as we get older, this whole system, it just starts to fail.
Look, in a healthy cell, things are running smoothly. But in an aging one, junk proteins just pile up.
Scientists have a name for this, proteostasis collapse. And trust me, it's not good news.
Okay, so how are our cells supposed to clean up all this junk protein anyway?
Well, they've got this incredible process called proteolysis. It's basically the cell's cleanup crew. This crew has two main players, autophagy for the big stuff and the proteasome for smaller junk. But if we have this awesome cleanup crew, then what's the problem? What's getting in the way? It's actually not the crew itself. The problem is a constant signal that's telling it to stop working. And that signal? It all comes down to something called excessive nutrient signaling. Meet mTOR. It's a sensor, and when it sees lots of nutrients, it just yells, grow! And when a cell is always in grow mode, it completely ignores all the cleaning and repairs. Get this, mice with mTOR constantly switched on had their lifespans cut by 30%. That's huge. But here's the really cool part. We can actually change that signal ourselves. By lowering that nutrient signal, we flip the priority from growth right back to maintenance. And how do we do it? Things like diet and exercise really fire up that cleanup crew. Kicking this process into gear has some seriously powerful benefits for your entire body. It's a total ripple effect. Better cleanup means less inflammation and a longer, healthier life. This junk buildup creates what's called inflammaging, a vicious cycle that just speeds up aging. So, by getting this under control, we might help protect against some major age-related diseases. So the big question is, if our own cells hold this key, what does that really mean for how we age?
If our own cells hold this key, and what does that really mean for how we age? That's a very, very important point he makes. I make. He's actually an artificial intelligence voice given to the short video that I created this morning. I hope you could hear it. Could you hear it? I didn't double check when I set the screen sharing up. Could you hear the video? And if you couldn't hear it, I'm pretty sure my sister for Africa One would have mentioned it to me. I'm going to go back to Notebook LM here in just a little bit. But the process he was talking about are called defolded programs. Or not programs, proteins. Misfolded proteins. The tangled up webs of these proteins. And these misfolded proteins are directly linked to Alzheimer's disease and disorder. So before I go back, I'm going to show you a couple of more graphics that I've put together with this Notebook LM. Let's go into the research. Let's put together this research. Proteolysis, the biological architecture of health and longevity. The provided texts explore proteolysis, a fundamental biological mechanism where enzymes decompose proteins into amino acids and peptides to maintain cellular integrity. This process is vital for human longevity because it prevents the accumulation of dysfunctional proteins. It regulates metabolic pathways and moderates chronic inflammation. Efficient protein turnover acts as a safeguard against age-related diseases and is a key component of how the body adapts to caloric restriction and environmental stress. Furthermore, the sources suggest that individuals can enhance their proteolytic health through lifestyle choices, such as regular exercise, adequate hydration, and a nutrient-dense diet. Ultimately, these documents emphasize that managing protein quality control is essential for sustaining long-term systemic health and slowing the biological aging process. And I do hope you stick with me for the entirety of today's conversation. It's going to be incredibly revealing, just like when we studied and put focus on autophagy. We put a powerful tool in our toolkit. And today's conversation puts a very powerful tool once again into our toolkit. So let's go forward. Oh, she said I heard it loud and clear. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I appreciate, love you, my beloved sister. And I'm not slurping anymore. And I'm doing that specifically because you said stop slurping. And I appreciate that. I didn't even realize I was doing it until you mentioned it. Let's go in further into the research. Now, I got a lot of research. Today you will learn 1, how proteolysis maintains cellular health and prevents the onset of age-related diseases. You will learn 2, what lifestyle strategies individuals can implement to optimize proteolytic function for better longevity. 3, in what ways do manageable proteolytic proteolytic processes regulate metabolism, inflammation, and cellular stress responses. And 4, how does proteolysis maintain cellular health and prevent the onset of age-related diseases such as Alzheimer's? Proteolysis maintains cellular health and prevents age-related diseases through several critical mechanisms that ensure protein quality control and homeostasis. That's one of our favorite words. It means the body's in perfect balance. Homeostasis. It is the biochemical process of breaking down proteins into smaller peptides or amino acids, a function vital for the body to respond to both internal and external challenges. This is essentially how we break down our food into peptides and amino acids, reconstructing new proteins, but this system of proteolysis keeps it all in integrity. So, point 1, protein turnover and quality control. The most fundamental role of proteolysis is protein turnover, the continuous cycle of degrading old, damaged, or misfolded proteins while generating new ones. Without efficient proteolysis, these dysfunctional proteins accumulate, leading to 1, cellular stress and organ dysfunction, 2, the onset of age-related diseases, specifically neurodegenerative disorders like Alzheimer's. And point 3, a decline in cellular integrity, which accelerates the aging process. This is wonderful news. This is really, really good news. So what the good news is that you and I have direct control over this. If we choose not to control it, then it's out of control. And that's not good. And the thing is all that crap, all that junk, all of that convenient food, fast food, greasy, triglyceride, metabolic food that you eat, and your lack of exercise, all contribute to the dysfunction of this necessary biological system called proteolysis. Point 2, the regulation of biological pathways. Proteolysis acts as a biological switch by using enzymes called proteases to activate or inactivate signaling molecules. This regulation is essential for point 1, metabolizing and nutrient sensing. It influences how cells respond to nutrient availability and maintain energy balance. Point 2, it is essential for stress response. During injury or cellular stress, proteolysis activates protective signaling mechanisms that allow cells to survive harmful conditions. And third, it is essential for nutrient recycling. This is also the process of autophagy. These are closely related. Proteolysis and autophagy are very closely related. They are very symbiotic. By breaking down proteins, the process releases amino acids that the body can use to synthesize new proteins or other essential biomolecules. Point 3, the system allows us the mitigation of chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation is a significant driver of aging and various diseases. Proteolytic enzymes modulate the immune system by degrading pro-inflammatory cytokines. By reducing these levels, proteolysis helps maintain a balanced inflammatory response, preventing the unregulated inflammation that typically accelerates biological aging. Continue. The connection to longevity and caloric restriction. Right, this is something I practice every day, and I hope you do as well. Caloric restriction, it does matter. Research has established a strong link between efficient proteolysis and extended lifespan. Organisms undergoing caloric restriction, a documented method for increasing longevity, show enhanced proteolytic activity. The heightened activity ensures superior protein quality control, and how helps cells adapt to environmental stressors. Point 5. They supporting proteolysis via lifestyle. Supporting proteolysis via lifestyle. Research has long established a strong link between efficient proteolysis and extended lifespan. I just read that. Number 5. While proteolysis is a natural biological process, its efficiency can be supported through specific lifestyle choices, such as A, regular exercise. Regular exercise. Physical activity, particular resistance training, stimulates the expression of proteolytic enzymes and helps prevent sarcopenia, age-related muscle decline. Point 2. Dietary support. Consuming high-quality proteins provides the necessary building blocks for turnover, while a diet rich in antioxidants and vitamins supports enzymatic activity. Point 3. Stress and weight management. Reducing chronic stress and maintaining a healthy weight helps lower overall inflammation, assisting the body's natural proteolytic processes. Stress and weight management. That means you got to have methods for combating stress. Don't get stressed out every day, all day long. Don't stop complaining about Donald Trump. Stop getting so excited about the football games and basketball games and baseball. Just chill. Hit an easy stride and go through life like that. Have people in your world that are not stressful. Have wonderful people, beautiful people, nice, calm people in your world. And also, you need to check your BMI. I check my BMI daily. Today, I just weighed myself and I did go back up over 140 pounds. I've been down under 140 pounds for the last 3 days of my 21-day detox fast. And I got down to, I think it was about as low as 138. And then I bounced it back up yesterday. I ate and ate and ate and ate. Food that sticks with you. And I'm not eating junk food. The closest I came to junk food was crackers. And that would be whole grain crackers. I guess you call them biscuits in the UK. And I actually ate them with peanut butter. And I did that specifically that I wanted to put on a little bit of weight. And that's good. Because yesterday I did do my push-ups. How many did I do yesterday? I think it was 800. And that's a good day. So here we are. We're at stress and weight management, reducing chronic stress and maintaining a healthy weight helps lower overall inflammation, assisting the body's natural proteolytic processes. And hydration. Proper water intake is essential for the optimal functioning of the enzymes involved in proteolysis. To understand this process, just think of proteolysis as a meticulous cellular recycling and maintenance crew. Just as a building would become hazardous if trash were never removed and broken pipes never replaced, a cell becomes dysfunctional if proteolysis does not constantly clear out molecular junk and repair the structural components of the cell. Now, on that note, I'm going to go back into my presentation, share screen with audio, and I'm going to share with you this one again, proteolysis, the biological architecture of health. Let's share that screen, and we don't need this one up. How do I go back? Escape. There we go. And now I'm back in Notebook LM. Let me show you what I'm doing. I am back in Notebook LM, and I'm going to go over here to the right-hand side and close that video, and I'm going to open up a Aging is a Trash Crisis. Aging is a trash crisis. I don't want to go off in that. That's stressful. Aging as a trash. This is a brief slideshow. This is an Adobe Acrobat, and I'm going to share this with you as well. So bear with me. I'm going to click on the slideshow right here, and I'm going to maximize this screen. I think it is maximized. Yeah, it is maximized. And let's go through the slideshow. No need for me to mute myself. It talks about the city inside of you. Now, I deliberately created this slideshow to appeal to a person of high school education level in a simple language. So that's why it's using this analogy of a city. And I hope this isn't too simple. The city inside of you, the trash crisis, why our cells age, and how to clean them up. You are not just one person. You are a collection of trillions of tiny, bustling cities called cells. Like any great city, your cells have infrastructure, power plants, trash collection, and billions of workers. Scientists have discovered that aging isn't just the passage of time, it's a crisis of waste management. When the city stops cleaning up the trash, it starts to collapse. The workers, life as an origami. On origami, it shows you how, of course, the origami is put together. The origami consists of, in our bodies, the amino acid chain, which is the first part of it, the citizens. And proteins are the workers of the cellular city. They build structures, deliver chemical messages, and fight off invaders. Point 2, the creasing of the origami is the folding process with regard to our proteins. The rule, function follows form. Just like a paper crane must be folded perfectly to look like a bird, a protein must fold into a precise 3D shape to do its job. And this is a little bit small, but don't worry about it. And point 3, the paper crane, origami. That corresponds to functional protein. The risk, proteins are fragile. They stress, heat, and genetic errors can cause them to misfold. A misfolded protein isn't just useless, it's dangerous. That's what the process of Alzheimer's disease is really about, misfolded proteins. Let's continue. The quality control department is called proteostasis. Proteostasis network. It begins with, on one hand, the chaperones. Well, no, there's a cycle here. It begins with chaperones, the degradation of old proteins, the quality control factor floor, and then dealing with the synthesis, the manufacture of new proteins. Proteostasis, protein homeostasis, is the city's sanitation and infrastructure department. Its job is to ensure the protein workers are healthy and productive. Synthesis, making new proteins, hiring, folding, helping them find their shape using chaperones. That's the training of the new hires. And degradation, identifying broken workers and sending them to the shredder. In this case, the shredder is proteolysis. A healthy cell maintains a perfect balance between making new proteins and destroying old ones. Now, there's your Alzheimer's. There it is, the glitch, when folding fails. The cause? Over time, oxidative stress, heat, or simple errors cause proteins to misfold. Their inner sticky parts, hydrophobic regions, get exposed. Sticky parts, hydrophobic, that means it's rejecting hydrogen. The effect, these bad proteins clump together, forming aggregates. Imagine a traffic jam that blocks the main highway, or a pile of trash blocking a doorway. The danger? These aggregates are toxic. They disrupt cellular membranes and distract the chaperones, pulling resources away from healthy proteins. Now again, this is degenerative disease. The trash crises and disease. There's a picture of young and clean, and then the aged and clogged. As we age, the trash, the aggregates, piles up faster than the quality control department can remove it. This is proteostasis collapse. This isn't just cosmetic. Many neurodegenerative diseases are actually protein misfolding diseases. Alzheimer's and Parkinson's are characterized by toxic aggregates in specific brain cells. Huntington's is caused by genetic errors that create sticky, clumped proteins. The city shuts down because it is buried in its own waste. This is how we prevent it. We continue. The distracted foreman, mTOR, that's a mechanistic tolerance of rapamycin. The signal, cells have a master switch called mTOR, again, mechanistic tolerance of rapamycin. Its job is to sense food, nutrients. The logic, when food is plentiful, mTOR yells, grow. The cell focuses on building new parts and dividing. The trade-off, you cannot renovate a house while you're hosting a massive party. When mTOR is active in its growth mode, the cleaning crew's repair mode are told to stand down. Recent studies show that simple signaling the presence of excess nutrients, even without eating them, can trick the cell into aging faster. Now, this process, we're not talking about healthy nutrients here. We're talking about excessive nutrients. We're talking about a lot of sugar, which triggers, of course, an insulin dump and lessens your insulin sensitivity. And essentially, that's when you're getting fat. This is why it's so critical to maintain proper BMI and also to engage in intermittent fasting and to engage in caloric restriction. It's absolutely essential to do these processes. So we're continuing the recent studies. I read that already. Next, we're almost finished with this. The growth paradox. This is it. The growth paradox shows you this graphic of junk food, growth, and reproduction. It shows you also the cleanup crew, maintenance, and repair. And the longevity lives here. That's the destination. Evolutionary context. In nature, food was scarce. We evolved to grow when food was there and repair when food was not there. That's why so critical to practice intermittent fasting and caloric restriction. It's a natural part of our cycle. The modern problem, today we are in a constant state of feast. We rarely flip the switch to famine unless you do what I do and what we do, and that is a quarterly detox fast. One for every new season of the year. I tell my body, we're in a famine. And the body goes through its exercises. The result, the foreman, mTOR, is always yelling, build. So the janitors never get to work. The trash piles up and the city ages. Again, this is a simple explanation, but I hope you do understand it. The cleanup crew, proteolysis and autophagy. The shredder. The proteolysis is the shredder. Breakdown of proteins into amino acids. It uses proteasomes to grind up specific bad proteins so their parts can be reused. That's just the same process as autophagy. Autophagosome and autophagy, self-eating. The heavy-duty recycling truck. The cell creates a membrane sac around junk, even whole organelles, and dissolves it in the lysosome, the acid pit. Why it matters? This is the only way to remove the toxic aggregates that cause disease. This is how it works. Flipping the switch, caloric restriction. It shows you a complex over on the left-hand side in the image, and the signal, caloric restriction, eating fewer calories without malnutrition, tricks the body into thinking it is winter time. Now, also, the body is tricked into thinking it's winter time when you do not turn the heater on for an extended period of time. If you allow your body to cool down during the winter time, then these processes begin to work in the background. They're triggered by the sirtuin circuits. So right now, I'm in a room that's rather cool, and I'm not going to tell you what the temperature is. You're going to accuse me of being cruel to me, but I'm alone in the house, and so I can tolerate it. But so caloric restriction tricks the body into thinking it is winter. The effect, now in nature, in wintertime, we eat less. The effect, nutrient signaling drops. mTOR goes quiet. Point 2, the cell shifts from growth to maintenance. And 3, autophagy and proteolysis kick into high gear. The evidence, caloric restriction consistently extends life in yeast, worms, flies, and rodents by upgrading the quality control system, thereby extending our healthy lifespan and longevity, our health span and longevity. This is a very, very important panel, and I hope you do appreciate it. And the last panel, there's a couple more. ER hormesis, the fire drill. What is it? Caloric restriction causes a mild beneficial stress on the endoplasmic reticulum, ER, the protein factory, the endoplasmic reticulum. The reaction, this mild stress triggers the unfolded protein response. The cell panics slightly and builds more chaperones and more degradation machinery. The result is like a fire drill. When real stress comes later in life, aging, the city is already fortified and ready to handle it. That's hormesis, the adaptive response. going forward. And bear with me, let me clear my throat. Excuse me while I clear my throat. Mm, mm, mm. And you know my tea. In that cup is oolong tea, green tea, turbinado, cinnamon, cayenne, ginger, turmeric, ground black pepper, and coconut oil. That's the formula right there. That's the magic. It's the first drink I have every day, and it is wonderfully nutritious. Let me see if anybody in the house is talking to me. I've been off on a tangent for a while, and we got a couple more panels. And Nguvu has joined us, Aquaba. He says, Sawubona. That means I see you. And that's a beautiful thought. Thank you, Brother Nguvu, for joining us and for sharing your thoughts. Joshua, I see you. You are joining us via YouTube. He says, thank you for this message. Thank you, Joshua, for being here, for being in this class. It's not an easy class today. It's going to be a tough one. But as you do get what we're talking about, and as you do take these lessons into your life, you're living longer. I think most of you by now know that I have used AI to calculate my longevity, and I've been working on this longevity calculator for several years. And there are 34 different things that I do, more than 34 at this point, because I've added more exercise routines into my day. But I have used this calculator to understand that my life expectancy, healthy lifespan, will be plus 118 plus. My entire lifespan is expected to be between 123 and 127. And my current biological age is between 45 and 55 years of age. Now, I can tell what my biological age is because of my body mass index. So that's why I say measure your body mass index as often as you can. I try to do mine at least 5 days a week. Inflammation. Inflammaging. That's an interesting word. Inflammaging. The cost of neglect. Let me go back over here. And that's not it. Here we go. Inflammation, the cost of neglect. Inflammaging. The cycle. When cells are full of trash, they get damaged and send distress signals, such as your telomeres shortening. The response? The immune system rushes in to help, but gets overwhelmed by the debris. Inflammaging. This leads to chronic low-grade inflammation. The immune system, trying to fix the problem, ends up causing collateral damage to healthy organs. Diet quality as a signal. It's not just starvation. You don't have to starve to see benefits. The Mediterranean advantage, diets rich in plant foods and olive oil, appear to enhance proteasome activity and reduce inflammation. And olive oil is an omega-3 fatty acid. There are a number of sources of omega-3 fatty acids, of which olive oil is very good. Olive oil is very balanced and easy for the body to tolerate, but there are others such as flax seeds, flaxseed oil, hemp seeds, hemp seed oil. I try and have at least one of each every day. Strategy: intermittent fasting or time-restricted feeding are ways to give the body a break from growth signals without cutting total calories drastically. And so by not eating for 18 hours a day and confining all of my eating to 6 hours a day, I am able to daily approach the level of widespread autophagy. I get a couple of hours of autophagy, just pure autophagy in every day. And then beyond that, in my proteolysis is constantly it's in place, and it's working on my behalf. So as I maintain this schedule, and it's stressful, I will say it is stressful, exercising in the mornings. I do 20 minutes of core. Next, I engage in, right now, because it's cold outside, just 10 minutes of HIIT. In the summertime, summer months, I'll do 20 minutes of HIIT. My next exercise takes place in the afternoon. I do my Tai Chi, about 7 minutes of Tai Chi. Then yesterday I did 400 push-ups in my first set. Then I'll wait about a half an hour or more. I will do another round of 7 minutes of Tai Chi, then the second set of 3. And I did yesterday the second set. Let me see, I wrote it down. My first set yesterday was 400. My second set was 200. And the third set was 200 as well. So, and then I always do 7 minutes of Tai Chi between the push-up sets. The Tai Chi has become for me a mental entry point. It's hard for me to talk myself into doing 200, 300, 400 push-ups at a time. But if I engage in Tai Chi for 7 minutes, it's right there. Just go from Tai Chi right to the push-ups. You got my secret. And my push-ups are not military style. They are 90-degree push-ups, press-ups. So I bend my elbows to 90 degrees and take it from there. So diet quality as a signal, and there's 1 or 2 more panels here. Exercise, the cellular detergent. Very interesting. I went right into my exercise routine. And also, there are more exercises after the push-up sets and the Tai Chi. Then, just before going to bed, I engage in about 15 to 20 minutes worth of Japanese exercises for the spinal cord alignment, just to adjust my spinal cord before going to sleep. So that's my final exercise of the day. Exercise is cellular detergent. The mechanism, physical activity, especially resistance training, forces the body to break down old muscle proteins and build new ones. The benefit, exercise acts as a detergent, boosting proteolysis and reducing the inflammation trigger, inflammasome. Sarcopenia. By keeping proteolysis active, exercise prevents sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle mass caused by a failure to recycle proteins. Let's go forward. There's more. The trade-off, finding balance. And there's a chart at the top. It shows you from the village is destroyed, etc. Immune failure, infertility, frailty. That could be the result of a life wasted. But there is the optimal zone, rhythmic balance. And then on the third part, there is cancer and accelerated aging. So this talks about caution. We cannot simply turn off mTOR forever. We need growth for wound healing, immunity, and reproduction. It shows you the mTOR activity growth cycle. The goal, the objective is not to stop growth permanently, but to restore the rhythm, cycling between growth, building, and maintenance, cleaning. And then there are therapeutics. Scientists are currently testing drugs like rapamycin, and mTOR stands for mechanistic tolerance of rapamycin. That's another whole complex conversation that we could take up one day, because you do need to know what this rapamycin is about. That might gently turn down the volume on mTOR without the side effects of starvation. So you do want to tune it up. You want to engage in detox fasting, but you cannot. You do not want to overdo it. Otherwise, you become anemic, bulimic, and what's the other one for women who can't eat, won't eat? I think it's not anemia. Anemia is part of it, but you know what I'm talking about. The little thin, little skinny women there, and men do it as well. Increasingly, you're seeing men are anorexic. That's the word I'm looking for, anorexia. And these are not even men. Anorexia will come as a consequence of a guy thinking he's a girl and in a wrong person's body, and then starving himself as if don't even go there. Therapeutics. Therapeutics means drugs. When they say scientists are talking about drug pushers. Drug pushers are currently testing drugs like rapamycin that might gently turn down the volume on mTOR without the side effects of starvation. The fountain of youth is maintenance. Summary. Aging is not a mystical curse. It is a biological event of proteostasis collapse, a failure of the city's sanitation department. The takeaway? Through diet, exercise, and understanding our biology, we can help ourselves take out the trash. Final thought. A long life isn't just about freezing time. It's about keeping the machinery running clean. And that concludes this presentation here. And I hope you did find that to be entertaining and useful. I love it. And I put it together. I hope you thought that was helpful. Now, in putting this together, let me go over here and one more time, I'm going to just check in on my conversation. In putting this together, I used a number of different sources. Aging as an event of proteostasis, that from PMC, collection of articles in the peer review system. The next one, how does caloric restriction improve proteostasis? The next one, the role of proteolysis in maintaining human health and longevity. And number 4, what are the various links between proteolysis in it was a PDF document that was, I didn't say the whole title of it. And then lastly, I went to the web and went to this article. Let me see if I can grab this one. Ooh, no, don't do that. This article came up on my research, but it didn't it didn't show up for the rest of the article because it was behind a firewall or something. Microsoft LM doesn't necessarily do that process so well, but I can share this with you right now. And I'm going to share this article, share screen. The article is entitled Dietary Restriction. Let me give you this. Dietary restriction improves proteostasis and increases lifespan through endoplasmic reticulum hormesis. What is endoplasm reticulum? It is the process that deconstructs the proteins in the food that you eat and reconstructs new materials with these proteins, including new proteins as well as amino acids, which are, of course, a part of that process. So this is very, very good. I do see a question in the chat box of my sister. For Africa 1, is overeating nuts problematic? As I do, I still maintain a body mass index of 18.6. Lovely presentation. Well, you need to eat those nuts because you are on the light side of the body mass index. You want to get in the middle of that index, but being on the light side of it is associated with longevity. So maintain that 18.6. You don't want to get 18.5 because then you're bouncing on the bottom of the normal range. But yeah, as long as you maintain a body mass index, you need nuts. Brazil nuts, cashews, macadamia nuts, peanuts, walnuts, pecans, almonds. All of these nuts are wonderful. Hazelnuts, they're all wonderful for you specifically, because I know for Africa One, you do not consume carcass meat, and I do not consume carcass meat. So yes, not only are the nuts good for you, but the nuts are the platform that are holding you up. So don't forsake those nuts. Pepitos, which are pumpkin seeds, raw sunflower seeds, all nuts and seeds are going to be good for you. That's awesome. And so this article, just real quickly from this article, it talks about the endoplasmic reticulum, ER, deteriorates with age and fails to mount an effective stress response against misfolded proteins, leading to protein folding disorders such as Alzheimer's disease. However, preconditioning the endoplasmic reticulum using a mild ER stress, which is caloric restriction, can protect against future insults. We show that dietary restriction, an intervention that protects against protein misfolding disorders and increases lifespan across species, uses the endoplasmic reticulum hormesis as a mechanism of action. Simply mimicking the ER hormesis in Canoidobacterium elegans, that's a type of worm, by transient treatment with pharmacological reagents leads to delayed age onset failure of UPR, that is the misfolded proteins, better capacity to process misfolded proteins, and increase lifespan. We also show that this process may be conserved in a mammalian cellular model of neurodegenerative diseases. Now, the neurodegenerative disease they are talking about is Alzheimer's. And we have to understand this is really profound. Let me look up this word, Alzheimer's. There it is. Aging is characterized by a catastrophic collapse of the proteostasis network due to the loss of protein quality control machineries across the cellular compartments. With age, the endoplasmic reticulum process begins to deteriorate and the ER health fails and is unable to mount an optimal UPR, that's a misfolded protein response, in response to external stress. Expression of levels of key ER mRNA and proteins, as well as activities of ER resident proteins, including BIP, PDI, calnexin, and GRP94, are known to decline with age. As a possible consequence, many diseases of protein misfolding, including Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and Huntington's diseases, are age onset disorders. Now, it goes on and on and on. This is a rather large article. I'm going to do this real quickly. I'm going to print this article to my hard drive because it did not come up in the original article that I did. So I'm going to print this to my hard drive. This is called Dietary Restriction Improves Proteostasis and Increases Lifespan. That's enough of the article and the title. Save this one to my hard drive. I think you're watching me do all of this. This is good. And this is, there it is, saved in there. And now I can add it to the document that I was using before. And now I can add it to the document I was using before. So Eddie McCroy, I see you in the house. Great info. Thanks. And Joshua K. M. Powers says, thanks for this message. I do know that you understand what I'm talking about. And you got your routine in place. Do get it in place. And let's all celebrate this wonderful longevity that we have earned for ourselves. Now, we would love to bring all of our friends and relatives along with us. We would love to bring our co-workers along with us, those people within our circle of protection and embrace. We want to bring them all with us, but the fact of the matter is a whole lot of them cousins of ours do not want to discipline themselves. They have a hard time with this idea of caloric restriction. Why should I restrict my calories? There's baked goods over here. Sweets and treats and pastries and baked goods and bread when it's hot out the oven, it smells so good, and smear some butter on the bread or dip the bread in butter, and there's turkey and chicken and dressing and all of that stuff. Why would I want to engage in caloric restriction? They perceive that you and I are suffering. But we're not suffering. We've chosen this life. And there are times when, in choosing this life, we're uncomfortable, such as right now. I'm in a room probably about 55 degrees or so, and it's a little uncomfortable. But I know the benefit of allowing my body to adjust to the winter season, and the stress, the discomfort, the stress of it, I know is maintaining proteostasis. So today we do a beautiful thing for our longevity. Today we focused on the Life Extension Lab one more time. Again, there's a whole lot more research I didn't get to. Let me just see if I can go through some of these things. So we talked about supporting proteolysis via lifestyle, regular exercise, dietary support, high quality proteins, stress and weight management, and hydration. Very important. I'll drink to that. There's something I pulled with last minute because I was unfamiliar with the terminology, and you may or may not be interested in the following few paragraphs, but I did. I thought, to understand this process, think of proteolysis as a meticulous cellular recycling and maintenance crew. We went through all of that. How, let me clear my throat. What's clearing my throat? That's maintenance. That's maintenance. How do endopeptidases, and exopeptidases differ in the breakdown process? Endopeptidase, endo meaning manufactured within my body, peptide meaning it's manufactured from the proteins that I get from the food, and the aces are the enzymes that usher this process along, endopeptidases. And exopeptidases, exo meaning outside, manufactured outside the body. How do endopeptidases and exopeptidases differ in the breakdown process? Endopeptidases and exopeptidases are both proteolytic enzymes, peptidases, that hydrolyze peptide bonds. But they act at different positions on peptide or protein chain, which gives them distinct roles in protein digestion and processing. Endopeptidases. Endopeptidases cleave internal peptide bonds, meaning they cut within the polypeptide chain rather than at its ends. By attacking non-terminal amino acid residues, they break down large proteins into short peptine fragments, but do not usually release free single amino acids directly. Common points about how they work. Point 1, they recognize specific sequences or side chain characteristics around internal peptide bonds. Example given, pepsin, trypsin, chromotripsin, each favor certain residues. And point 2, in digestion, they are often secreted as inactive zymogens. Example given, pepsinogen, trypsinogen, and activated in the gut lumen to start bulk protein breakdown. Now, yeah, this is getting crazy, but I needed to put this inside this dialogue because I'm going to better understand what the function of endopeptidases, peptidases, and exopeptidases is. So bear with me. I'm going to read this a few more sentences. Exopeptidases. Exopeptidases cleave peptide bonds at the terminal ends of peptide chains, releasing single amino acids or small peptides, di or tripeptides. They act on one or two residues from either the N terminus or C terminus, which allows complete breakdown of proteins to transportable amino acids. Key subclasses and actions. Aminopeptidases remove one amino acid at a time from the N-terminal amino end. Many are located on the intestinal brush border. Carboxypeptidases remove amino acids from the C-terminal, the carboxyl end. Pancreatic carboxypeptidases, are A and B, are classic digestive examples with preferences for hydrophobic versus basic residues. Now, functional relationship, almost finished. In physiological protein digestion, endopeptidases, I'm going to pronounce it right, first cut long proteins into smaller peptides. Then exopeptidases trim these fragments from the ends to yield free amino acids suitable for absorption. This division of labor, based on internal versus terminal bond cleavage, is also used as the primary classification scheme for peptidases in biochemistry. The relationship between caloric restriction and enhanced proteolytic activity is a primary mechanism through which organisms achieve, quote, extended lifespan and improve cellular integrity. Caloric restriction, a well-documented approach to increase longevity, triggers a biological environment where the body's recycling systems become more active and efficient. This connection involves several key biological adaptations, including 1, improved protein quality control, 2, metabolic regulation and nutrient sensing, 3, maintenance of homeostasis, 4, enhanced stress response. Caloric restriction effectively primes the proteolytic system to better manage cellular stress. By regulating proteins associated with repair and resistance, enhanced proteolysis supports cellular survival under the challenging conditions of limited nutrients, with ultimately which ultimately promotes longevity. Again, the challenging condition of limited nutrients, that's caloric restriction, with not loss of quality nutrients, just a smaller amount of nutrients. Analogy, you can think of caloric restriction as a, quote, lean season for a manufacturing plant. A lean season, don't do that, for a manufacturing plant, meaning where we're going to get raw materials. When the new raw materials are scarce, the plant doesn't stop working. Instead, it becomes much more disciplined at, quote, scavenging and recycling old parts. And cleaning the machinery to ensure everything runs as perfectly as what is available. And I'm going to close with this. They did ask very important question. What does enhanced proteolysis specifically, how does enhanced proteolysis specifically prevent neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's? That's a very important question. Very important, because you in my listening audience today, you do not want Alzheimer's in your house. You want to live ripe old age, and you want your mental faculties to be there up until the very end, and even beyond. Maybe you want to live fully functional mentally and then go to sleep and just not wake up. Decide during that sleep cycle, this is the end of my life. I'm out. And you won't even have to burden anyone with having to wipe your butt or take care of you. So how does enhanced proteolysis specifically prevent neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's? Enhanced proteolysis prevents neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's primarily by acting as a critical protein quality control mechanism that maintains cellular integrity. When this system is enhanced or functioning optimally, it addresses the underlying cellular failures that can lead to cognitive decline through the following specific actions. Number one, removal of misfolded and dysfunctional proteins. Again, the maintenance crew. The hallmark of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's is the accumulation of misfolded proteins. Enhanced proteolysis facilitates efficient protein turnover. The continuous process of identifying and breaking down these damaged proteins into smaller peptides or amino acids. By clearing out this molecular junk, the body prevents the cellular stress and organ dysfunction that occur when toxic protein aggregates are allowed to build up in the brain. Point two, management of cellular stress. Proteolysis is a key component of the cellular stress response. During periods of injury or biological stress, proteolytic enzymes, proteases, activate protective signaling mechanisms and repair processes. This activation helps nerve cells survive harmful conditions that might otherwise lead to the cell death associated with Alzheimer's disease. 3. Mitigation of neuroinflammation. Chronic inflammation is a significant driver of age-related brain diseases. Proteolytic enzymes help maintain a balanced immune response by degrading pro-inflammatory cytokines, molecules that signal the body to remain in a state of inflammation. By reducing these inflammation levels, proteolysis prevents the unregulated inflammatory response that can accelerate the aging process in the brain. And point four, metabolic and homeostatic balance. Enhanced proteolytic activity, often observed during caloric restriction, promises better cellular homeostasis. It regulates biological pathways involved in nutrient sensing and energy balance. ensuring that cells have the necessary amino acids to synthesize new healthy proteins and maintain the structural integrity required for proper neurological function. And it goes on and on. There are a number of different questions I answer in the rest of my singled out report. Let me just go to, although the sources do not specify individual antioxidants by name, such as vitamin C, E, or specific polyphenols, that are most effective for brain health, they do provide the following information regarding the relationship between antioxidants, diet, and proteolytic activity. 1. General dietary support. Diet rich in antioxidants and vitamins is essential for supporting proteolytic activity. This activity is vital for brain health because it prevents the accumulation of misfolded or dysfunctional proteins, which are linked to the onset of Alzheimer's and other neurodegenerative disorders. Recommended food categories to provide the necessary nutrients for protein synthesis and repair. The sources suggest consuming a balanced diet that includes fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. So for Africa 1, you got it. Fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Its role in reducing inflammation. Antioxidants are part of a dietary strategy that helps maintain a balanced immune response. By supporting the proteolytic enzymes, they indirectly help degrade pro-inflammatory cytokines, which reduces the chronic inflammation that can accelerate brain aging, and synergy with other nutrients. Alongside antioxidants, the source emphasizes the importance of adequate protein intake, specifically high-quality proteins, to provide the building blocks for new proteins and support normal turnover processes. So on that note, I think I filled your head up with some real useful, vital information today. And this is who we are. This is what we do as part of the process of maintaining order and moving forward through life. Did you like today's conversation? I hope you did. Can I get you to hit the like button for your browser? We didn't have a big audience today, but personally, I think those of you who were part of today's conversation really do appreciate what we did with it. And I feel good. Just finished on Saturday. I completed my winter solstice detox fast. It was 21 days. 28, 29. No, 21. Normally, I would be doing 28-day detox fast, but specifically, I made it a point to do 21 days to keep my weight from within the range that I want to keep my weight at. Right now, I have reduced my overall weight by 5 pounds from striving to keep it at 145. Now I'm striving to keep it at 140. And I have to keep it from dropping below 140, which means I can eat more. Because as I'm doing the exercises, especially the weight training exercises with my body weight, using my body weight, there's no chance of sarcopenia. No chance at all of muscle wasting, age-related muscle wasting, sarcopenia. So it feels good to be able to sit down and eat the high quality protein. High quality protein. Peanut butter, most of the time, if you want to get it from a good source, it's a high quality protein. I eat lots of nuts. Yesterday I had a bowl of mixed nuts. What did I put in there? I put in some walnuts, pepitos, pumpkin seeds, raw sunflower seeds, cashews, and there was something else. Oh, and I put in some granola, maple granola. And I liked it. And it's just a beautiful thing. So on that note, I'm ready to get on out of here for today. It's been a good day here on your favorite. We hope to be your favorite LIB Radio, LIBTV, livingblack.com. If we have any new listeners in the house, please do announce yourself. Hey, break yourself down, fool. No, I don't know about all that. But announce yourself. We did get a number of listeners on our YouTube page. And there's actually the exact same number on YouTube and on the Rumble page. And so glad to see my YouTube page is finally bouncing back up. If you haven't already, do become a subscriber. It's only up to 221 subscribers now. Before YouTube casted me into the rubbish bin on the orders of the White House, the Biden administration targeted a whole bunch of us black people who spoke out consistently against COVID-19. And I was one of those, but not only speaking out, I showed you the peer-reviewed scientific articles to back up everything I was saying. And so they targeted me, they targeted us, they targeted many more powerful people than me. They targeted Gary Null, Joseph Mercola. Both of those guys command our respect. But yeah, we were not allowed. And so they targeted us, and that page collapsed. YouTube destroyed my presence there. And I'm not even really trying to build back up a YouTube. I'm not like it was before. But we are doing the best we can to continue to do the best that we can on your favorite. We aim to be your favorite. We are LIB Radio, LIBTV. We are livinginblack.com. And on that note, I'm out of here. Tomorrow, we're going to come in again for more health-related information. I haven't picked a topic for tomorrow. Actually, a bunch of topics I picked and put them all in a list. And I'll maybe go there and pick one of them. Or I may use today's presentation and as a starting point and go off in that direction. So tell your friends to tell their friends that we have our own now, and that we are very proud of what we have, what we do. And you know something? I'm honored and I am proud of who I get a chance to share this cutting edge nutritional research with every day. And for Africa One, you're talking about one of my favorites there. He says, ooh, peanut butter stuffed in dates. You got it. Peanut butter and dates. That's one of our treats. We actually put an almond in there, some peanut butter and a date, and then put it in our mouth. And we go, on your favorite. We aim to be your favorite. We are LIB Radio, LIBTV, livinginblack.com. Tell your friends to tell their friends about what we do, and especially tell them who we do it with. Peace and prosperity to each and every one of you on LIB Radio, LIBTV, and on livinginblack.com.